If I know that we're about to go through the largest change humanity has ever gone through in the shortest period of time, i.e. not being the apex of all intelligence, well, it's a mind-blowing concept. And you can create infinite amounts of these super brains or super bodies. It's like the only way to really prepare for that is to not care. And the only way to not care really is to have made enough money that your security, you allow yourself to be secure, and then you can enter that world because you can take risks, you can learn, do different things.
But what should they be doing right now to really set up their future in the next 3 to 5 years?
You see, when I approach the world of macro is just looking at global opportunity sets in any asset, anywhere in the world that makes you the most returns. That's really what we do. But we use economics to understand how the world works, because things like the business cycle drive returns of assets. So we use that framework and then we look at the assets that work. Generally speaking, in the past, I would have broader portfolios and shorter time horizons. My short-term time horizons, because we're trading economic data, might be 2 months to 6 months, and sometimes I do shorter term bets. But now we've got 2 mega trends, the biggest secular trends we've ever had, and we'll talk about why they are as they are, but they're so powerful that all you need to do is capture the trend. So it makes it easy, because trading's actually hard. It's a really hard thing to do. And when you've got a huge trend that just does this over time, capture the bulk of that. So what I think for people to do is have 2 things in your head. One is put some of your capital in the long-term trend and just let it play out. Then you can try and see if you can add alpha versus that trend by trading. I guarantee you won't. That's the hard thing to realize. The trend is, like in crypto, is so powerful that it even becomes difficult to start a business if you've got any capital, because the returns are so high. We've never had this before. It's the easiest and best way to kind of unfuck your future is having a mega trend behind you. Most other things we trade are cyclical. Whether it's the dollar or rates or equities, different. Technology, definitely not. It's a secular uptrend because tomorrow's more digital than today. So focus on part of your portfolio, the largest part, should be in capturing these long-term trends. They're easy. You don't need to do anything. But I know people like to trade. It makes them feel good, gives them some adrenaline. So do that with a smaller amount and then write down whether your returns are actually beating your benchmark. Chances are they won't. I've had in my mind is my job is to live in the future. That's what macro guys do. And I got to a point because of AI and robotics that I can't see beyond about 2030, 2032. And that's unusual for me because I use mega trends as the backdrop to what I look at, things like demographics. So when you look at demographics, the population is aging pretty much in every major developed country in the world. So that means that economic growth slows as people get older. So GDP growth is driven by population growth, productivity growth, and debt growth. So as population ages, you get these big mega trends that start affecting growth rates of things, and we offset it versus debt. So we've got these mega trends. We've been debasing currency, printing money to kind of offset this massive debt because of the aging population that's slowing growth, and the governments try and keep growth up by creating debt. But soon we're going to replace that equation because the population side is going to be replaced by AI and robots. So we can have infinite number of productive units population in the next 10 years. So what does that do to economic growth? Who does it accrue to? But we get even weirder outcomes than that is, obviously people like, what job am I going to do? What's the point of a trader when you've got an AGI that can do it better? What edge do you ever have? How do companies get priced in markets once you've got this super intelligence? Because don't forget, for the first time in all of history, we will not be the super being on the planet. Somebody will be much smarter than us. It'll be the AI. So it's going to be better at us at all of these mental tasks that we do, and faster than us. So it becomes a strange world where I don't think trading works. I don't know what investing is like. We don't know what jobs we're going to do. But we're going to have massive economic growth. And I do know that we're very adaptive as a species. We'll figure stuff. And we'll figure stuff in ways of making money, ways of being human, and stuff like that. But we don't know what that is. If I know that we're about to go through the largest change humanity has ever gone through in the shortest period of time, i.e. not being the apex of all intelligence, well, it's a mind-blowing concept. And you can create infinite amounts of these super brains or super bodies. It's like the only way to really prepare for that is to not care. And the only way to not care really is to have made enough money that your security, you allow yourself to be secure, and then you can enter that world because you can take risks, you can learn, do different things. But if you're expecting to be doing what you're doing today in 10 years' time, you're so wrong. And so really I've looked at this and said, okay, we've got these massive megatrends, crypto, technology. They go up over time. They're the fastest, crypto particularly is the fastest growing asset in terms of performance in all human history in the shortest period of time. So don't fuck this up. Take that opportunity and use it, because if not, you're going to regret it. So I always talk a bit about your future self, and will your future self thank you for what you do today? You're trying to set your future self up to be protected from the new world that comes. It's kind of changed a little bit because I've seen a lot of Gen Z and the millennials when they started trading, which was only back in 2020. Before then, they didn't trade at all, right? Non-financialized, is they've approached it in a different way. So it's not for me to say, because we're all going to learn the lessons we have to learn in the way we have to learn them. My age group tended to learn via reading, understanding first, and then put it into action cautiously. The Gen Z generation is the most extreme of all, which is show me the trade, I don't know what it is, show me the ticker, and I'll buy it. And then I'll figure it out as I go. And I don't mind whatever way you get in, as long as you learn and you realize that you're going to make mistakes, because trading is all about learning from your mistakes. It's rarely ever learning from your winners. It's like, where did I go wrong? What did I do? Most of the time it's because you've done something dumb, like listen to your friend and they said, hey, buy this. You buy, you have no reason why, you don't understand. But as long as afterwards you go, well, why did I do that? Why did I lose money? Then you're starting to learn. So it doesn't matter whether you come the slow way, watching Real Vision, watching every interview, trying to understand how to trade, what is it like to invest, or you just throw yourself in the deep end, lose money. The worst thing is actually when you make money too quickly in the process, because you start to think you know everything. And what you start to do is start taking outsized risks. And I've seen many, many people blow up from doing that by, it's better to lose money first than it is to make money first. Anybody who's been around for a while knows it's a probability game. All you're trying to do is shift probabilities in your favor. So when I talk about a long-term trend, well, the probability of it going up tomorrow versus today is higher, which is much better than if you're trading a short-term chart, which could be moving around. So your probability goes up. That's all it is. And you have to understand that the probability of trading is, most of the best traders in a shorter term time horizon will be at best 50-something%. So that means most of the time you're going to feel like a moron. And that's okay, as long as you understand why. Some trades just don't work, just because the probability is 80% in your favor, it can still fall the other way. But if you're making mistakes because you don't know what you're doing, you don't know why you're doing it, you're not reading the charts right, you're not stepping stop losses right, or however you're doing your trading methodology, if you're not learning from that, then you're destined to fail. But as you say, if you get into a trade, your first trade, you do it big, you get 3 or 4 winners, you don't realize the probabilities are still that you're going to have some losers. And if you then start putting your ego into the trade, it's the whole behavioral aspect of trading that's really hard.
Relatively no understanding or interaction with AI or its future use cases. What should they be starting to do? Is it a case where they should start to research and understand where these impacts can come in?
At the simplest level, because everybody watching this is a trader, take your favorite chart, stick it into ChatGPT and say, what do you think? It'll blow your mind. Any chart, on anything, any time horizon. Then ask it, hey, what's driving this? And you'll realize that it knows more than you. It knows technical analysis. I use like demark indicators, chuck it in, it'll tell me, what you think the best setup is. And then you'll start to realize, okay, there's a superpower for you there. What you'll do is you'll find some hook. So it could be that, or it could be you've got a health problem, or you're going on a trip. Just go and ask ChatGPT. And then over time, you'll use it for more and more things. And before you know it, you're building models on it, you're developing systems, you're researching on it. I mean, half of my research now, I accumulate on ChatGPT, and it works with me. I feed it a lot of my research from Global Macro Investor, so it knows how I write, how I think, and then I ask it to interpret stuff, and it puts it into my framework. So it is a superpower, and anybody not using it is like fighting with one hand behind their back. It's an amazing tool.